Wogan Ready TV, like this video, subscribe to this channel. Listen, I don't want to come off like no hater, cause I'm far from that. But I try to get a Fat Joe and Jada podcast a chance, cause one, Jada like my favorite artist ever. You know what I mean? So much respect to Jada. But to me, there's a few reasons why I don't like the show. For one, I don't think they had any concept of what they wanted to talk about, what the show was gonna be based on. They just sitting there talking. You know what I mean? That's for one. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? You see Gilly and Wallow, they podcast, they started off by introducing the world to them. Like, people knew Gilly, but it was like an introduction, they chemistry together. First of all, they chemistry together. You know what I mean? It's just awesome. You know what I mean? They base their show on a lot of new coming artists. You know what I mean? As in Drink Champs, they base their show on like a lot of artists that the seasoned that been around to the legends. You know what I'm saying? Then you have a couple other podcasts, that's around. You know what I mean? But for Joe, like case Mason Cam, sport and a chemistry. You know what I'm saying? A chemistry. I think you gotta have that chemistry. I'm not saying Fat Joe and Jada don't have chemistry. I'ma just say it, man. The motherfuckers look awkward as shit up there together, and I'm just gonna keep it real. You know what I mean? Um, they look awkward. I think it would have been better if Jada would have did the show with maybe Styles and Sheik, or Styles and Sheik, or no bullshit, Jada. If you see this, you know what I mean. Get your money. I think would have been dope if you did a show, a podcast with you, your father, and your son. I think more people want to see that. I'm gonna keep it 100. Like, Fat Joe is not on everybody's favorite list right now, especially after all the shit with Mav Hoffa and all that BS. You know what I'm saying? I don't think he's people's choice. I think he's using Jada right now to, stay relevant. You know what I mean? And I don't think nobody would want to just watch a Fat Joe podcast. I'm just gonna keep it 100. But when you look at the show, Fat Joe is doing most of the talking. Kiss is more so co-signing. And another reason, these are dudes that we came up off of, Fat Joe, Kiss, and all that. They from my era. But the only thing Joe talking about is like, I'm not gonna say the only thing, but most of the shit he talking about is like motherfuckers that gotta have a lot of money and shit to understand that shit. Niggas ain't been in the industry. He all like, yeah, you know how you driving when you flying in a private jet. Niggas can't really relate to that. The average nigga can't relate to that. So you doing this podcast to brag, or you know what I mean? I'm not trying to watch this shit from no fucking, with any type of jealousy or anything in my heart. I just can't relate. I can't relate. And I think the average motherfuckers can't relate to that. Like, you know what I mean? It's okay to tell your stories and shit like that. But only we like 2 episodes in, I think. And already I've just been seeing all this, yeah, you driving you know how you flying in a private jet, or you know how you know what I mean, you get the floor seat at the next $54,000, a ticket. I paid more than that, man. Like, nobody not really trying to hear that shit, man. We in a motherfucking, I don't know if we in a recession or what, but it's crazy right now. The average nigga can't relate to that. And I don't know, man. Maybe I got something personal against Fat Joe, because when I was doing my album back in 2021, he reached out to me on Instagram. Talking about, I like your music, pop, 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 pop. You know what I'm saying? All right, how much for a feature, Joe? 50K. 50K? Is you kidding me? 50K? Nigga, I still got the screenshots. And that's another thing. Yo, for the niggas that's coming up in the industry, you know what I mean? Y'all making music and all that, man. When these dudes that's already established inbox y'all, don't even reply back. don't reply back because it's they not just they don't even like they probably never even listen to your music. You know what I mean? They just know you on the list, you grinding, and I think it's very disrespectful and it's annoying that a motherfucker that's already well established is trying to come up off somebody that's not established like that because I know you wouldn't charge Fat Joe. I know you wouldn't charge Jadakiss $50,000 to get on the song with you. You wouldn't charge the average nigga that's in the game 50,000, but you would try to get 50,000 off a up and coming nigga that you see hungry. Nigga, I would never pay you 50,000. Even Benny the Butcher ain't asked me for 50,000. You know what I mean? That motherfucker said he'd do it for 20 or whatever I can come up with. And you know what? That was respectable. Because at the time, you know what I'm saying, it was other shit he said he could do. Like, let's build. I got a tour coming, blah, 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 blah. He gave me a direct number, you know what I'm saying? And I could respect that more than some motherfucking 50K. You know what I'm saying? I got songs with legends, nigga. I got songs with Beanie Siegel. I got songs with Styles P. You know what I'm saying? A lot of niggas in Philly, Reed Dollars, you know what I mean? A lot Enes. Like, come on, you name them. Like, I mean, I ain't no motherfucking amateur. You know what I'm saying? I've been around. I had shit on the radio, nigga. You know what I mean? You ain't gonna get me with that. But like I know I got sidetracked right there. Like, you know what I'm saying? But and maybe that's my little personal thing I got with Joe. But I mean, besides that, I just don't think it's a good show. Maybe it'll grow on me. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that it don't have potential. I mean, them two dudes together, I think they can make whatever happen. I just don't see it. I just think it would have been better if Kiss would have did a show with Styles and Chic. They could talk about the D Block Days, all that shit, you know what I mean? And I think since they chemistry, Kiss will be able to open up more. You know what I mean? Like I said, I don't know what type of relationship him and Fat Joe got. I know they've been cool for a long time, but I just, you know what I mean? I don't know, man. I don't know. Maybe it's just Fat Joe. I don't know. What are y'all thoughts? You know what I mean? But I think it would have been better if Kiss, man, would do a show with his dad and his son. You know what I mean? Keep three generations of Jada. That you already got a title right there. Three generations of Jada. You can get you know what I mean? That's three generations of knowledge right there. You got your pops for motherfuckers that's older. You know what I mean? Boom, boom, boom. That's a whole nother audience right there. You got your son for the younger generation, and you got you for niggas like my age. You know what I'm saying? Yo, that shit would be so dope, bro. Think about that, man. I know y'all want a little check right now. Y'all probably need the bread. But you know what I mean? If you want longevity, even in the YouTube world, you gotta get real creative, man. You know what I mean? Joe and Jada, it's just like honestly just look like two rappers just came together and we gonna try some shit that ain't gonna be around too long. I'm sorry, I just gotta keep it 100. And I know a lot of other people feel the same way, but they not gonna say nothing. You know what I mean? A lot of people ain't gonna say nothing. They probably click on a couple, you know what I mean, and that's it and keep it moving. It's not interesting at all. You know what I mean? Y'all got a lot of work to do, man. Like I said, I'm not hating, man, because I fuck with Jada. You know what I mean? I fuck with Jada the long way, no Diddy. You know what I mean? That's my guy, man. I fuck with Jada. But I just don't think this motherfucking podcast is it. You know what I mean? What are y'all thoughts? This Welcome Ready TV. Like this video, subscribe to this channel. Peace and love, yo.